So Onslaught has been brought back into the game, and it's been a long time since we've had this event. And as you can see, there have been a few changes made. We have reduced the number of periods that there are in an Onslaught match. There's just the one period, which lasts a full 60 minutes. Everyone has 4 energy to attack, and you can still attack someone when your camp is destroyed. Everyone now only has 1 life. So I kind of like this feature because it means even if you only have 8 people on, you're still capable of destroying the other faction without actually spending any coins for more energy. We still have a victory bonus of 10,000 points, and there's a survival bonus of 50,000 points. If one faction is able to eliminate the other faction, that's how you get the victory points. But if both factions eliminate each other, then you both get victory points. If either side has someone surviving, that's where the survival bonus comes into play. 50,000 points, which is quite significant in my opinion. If you do happen to run into the situation where neither side is able to destroy the other side, then the victory bonus of 10,000 points will go to the side that has scored the most amount of points in the match. So there's a few ways of scoring points in this match. There used to be more ways to get bonus points, but there have been some changes so that you can't get these extra bonuses, and in my opinion, it was a very smart idea to remove some of them. So in my Diamond League, the best bonus available is the no rush use bonus. If you are able to defeat an enemy without using an adrenaline rush, you can score an additional 10,000 points. This is a huge number of points, and it's to my understanding that in lower leagues, so if you're in bronze, silver, gold, or platinum, you actually have a smaller bonus. And to me this makes sense because overall the team grades that you'll be seeing are a lot weaker, so you won't be seeing as many S-class tunes or maxed out 6 stars with veteran rings. So I can understand why in Diamond League it's 10,000 points. It's still a huge amount and can accumulate very fast. I've so far scored this a number of times. I keep trying to hit the people that I think I can get without using rushes based on the lead that I see. And more often than not, that's going to be a yellow Michelle lead, or maybe a Lydia lead, Andrea lead, maybe. Blue Garrett is someone else that I look for. And I just use my standard green and yellow attack team for that. I also have my bleed team, which could probably be fairly effective, but it's tough to know when to run it if I don't know the enemy. So another bonus is surviving fighter bonus, So defeat an opponent with fighters remaining. This value is per remaining fighter. So it's only 100 points each, which means it's a maximum of 500 points that you can retain. And I was thinking about this after. So part of the strategy of this game is to maximize your points for sure, like obviously. And before, when there was more bonuses, like default weapons, which I'm glad they removed because so many of the promo tunes have an awesome default weapon that I just don't think it would be fair. We used to have if you attacked a new player that you've never attacked before and won, you would get bonus points. There was also a way for first time defeated, there'd be bonus points, but with everyone just having 1 life, everyone would get that bonus every time, so it's a little redundant. I do think they need to incorporate some other bonuses into this. Like I would like to see no active skills used for a bonus as well, because that would be very challenging. And your players who need a little more stimulation, I think they would love that. I know I would. For other bonuses, I guess you could do a turn-based one. So if you can beat them in 5 turns or less or something like that, that could be also interesting. And finally, the last bonus at the very front is just defeating the enemy, and it's a flat 100 points. So it's not very much. So I'm just going to take you through kind of some of the Onslaught matches that I have had, and just this team that I've been using to varying degrees of effectiveness. If I ever have to use a rush, I find that I end up just fleeing because we usually have enough people on that someone else can hit them. And by giving someone else the opportunity to get a clean hit off and maybe not rush against them, in my opinion, is worth it because of the large number of points that you can acquire by not rushing. Like, it is actually insane how many points you can get if you're able to defeat an enemy without rushing. So this team that I'm using, Sean has his plus 25% attack for the first 3 waves of a match. James has his bound weapon with more attack on it. Camilla, I gave her an impair when attacking weapon because with a team like this, I need a bit more control because I don't have a stun weapon on Sean and I can't use Michelle's rush to stun the enemy, so all I can use is Lily's active skill, and Lily has a stun weapon. So as you see right there, I scored like 28,000 points off that person. I have 57,000 points total because I had another no rush hit before here. So as you see, it really does pay off if you're able to accomplish it. Now, this is a team that is pretty difficult, and this is the type of team that you need good RNG for because you have someone like Dr. Stevens who's going to give AP all around. Meanwhile, I don't want to rush. You have Zach who's going to recover from everything, and it's messy. Like, I don't see a point in continuing because I don't think I can beat that team without rushing. So I'm going to leave it for someone else to give it a go because they might be able to come up with a team that's, well, just a better fit. Now, that last team, I guess I could have tried a bleed team on the second time around, but even then it's difficult to control because, in my opinion, you need to have a lot of good active skills and bound weapons while also being able to apply damage. One of the best ways, in my opinion, around not rushing would be applying flat damage off of mods. So again, that's like bleeding a team out and using lacerating tunes, or burn, for instance. You can't use maim as much because more often than not, that is a rush. And you see right here, I actually got pretty lucky because I was able to stun Zach. Now, I lost a tune, but if I'm still able to complete this match without rushing, it should be worth it. But because I didn't get any good RNG luck on Zach there, I couldn't stun him with Lily or impair him or AP drain him with Camilla. I didn't see a point in trying to continue there. But when trying again, you kind of learn from the first time around, and you gotta hope for a bit of good RNG. So getting that Hemo Bleed applied right at the beginning is kind of unfortunate just because Hemo Bleed, it will get worse every single turn. I'm glad that there's not a lacerator because that would be really bothersome. But as I was saying before, even if I end up losing a tune, but I'm able to defeat the enemy without rushing, I will be getting an enormous number of points because, again, I only lose 100 points per survivor multiplied by whatever bonus it is. So if it's 2.7, 100 times 2.7 is 270 points that I lost out on. And sorry, that last match ended up cutting off on me. I had a phone call come in, so it broke my video off. But point is, I ended up finishing out that match, even though I lost some tunes. But overall, the net gain is so much greater, and it's difficult sometimes to get by without rushing on the other team, especially when you get a bunch of promos. But I think it's really about strategizing with your teammates and figuring out what teams you're strong against and knowing who's on at what time. It's pretty crazy, to be honest, how much the bonus is for not rushing, because sometimes you just have an ideal team. And I wish, again, that there were more bonuses because then you could strategize different ways to beat a team. So you could end up rushing, but if you don't use your active skills, then you still will get some bonus. It might not be as high or it might be higher. But it would just be really interesting to me to see what other type of bonuses Scopely could end up incorporating. This team that I'm battling now, I've decided that L is almost impossible to beat without losing a tune. I feel like I need to have a reviver or I need to have a guardian shield in order to block the damage. So for that one, I don't think that there really is many ways to like end up beating that team without rushing. So I decided to rush and just end it because we still want to try and destroy the enemy, and it's points in the end, but it's also nice if you can beat the enemy and the enemy doesn't beat you, because then you can get a survivor bonus, you can get a victory bonus. There's just a bunch of different bonuses. Well, actually just 2 bonuses that you can end up getting, and all points end up counting. In my opinion, it would be good for people to kind of go over the teams that they have and what they feel strong and confident in attacking, and what teams that they like to use. Like, this team is a heavy damage team that I run, and it's designed to take out glass cannon teams by being a glass cannon team itself. With so much damage on my team, it can be very tricky for a defensive team that has an offensive lead to, well, not die in this case. James does an incredible amount of damage, and Sean does too. On the first turn here, I was able to take out 3 toons. Now, unless I can kill Ajax here, I'm probably going to end up losing someone because Sandy's double attack rush. And, you know, like, again, as I mentioned before, just because I lost a toon doesn't mean it's not worth it. If we take a look at the points here, there's not much of a difference from the 28,000 and odd change that I got from the first match or in my other matches. So really, you just have to weigh out the cost and the benefits. I understand that in lower leagues it might not be worth it because the bonus for no rushes used drops a lot. And so with that drop, obviously you won't get as many points. So it's kind of just figuring out the math for that and seeing when it's worth to just flee and try again or let someone else try, and when you should continue and finish the match. Because if you know you still have another attack left, and you know that you can beat this team if you do this first instead of whatever you did the first time, it could be worth it to flee and try again on a fresh slate. I have honestly fled probably a quarter of the times at least in my matches, just because I had faith and confidence in my teammates picking up where I left off, or me going back and finishing the job. It's all about weighing out the cost and benefit and understanding the capabilities of your teammates as well. Again, with some of these no-rush teams, you really need to have some good active skills and special weapons. You need a damage dealer unless you use a bleed team or burn team, but a lot of control is definitely needed and a wide variety of control. I have used my blue team a few times to varying degrees of effectiveness because I've shown you it before. It has a lot of different active skills. With Cole, I have taunt. With Douglas, I have taunt and confuse. With Earl, I can disarm, and I also have stun. There's just a lot of options there, like even Alpha, not using her rush, I still have an AP drain active skill. So there's just a wide variety of methods of attacking, and as long as I use my active skills well and I get good RNG, like in this match I was able to stun Mia and Krista, then you should have a good result in the end. Thank you for watching and listening to my video. Let me know your thoughts on Onslaught and how Scopely could improve the event. I do like the faction milestones that are found in the missions, and that it rewards you with S-class items. I wish that the drops for mods and scraps were a little better, and I wish that there were individual milestones, but the updates that they did do, I am fairly happy with, and so far I am enjoying Onslaught.